Thunder is the embodiment of heavenly might. Above the vast nine heavens, it occasionally falls to the mortal realm, carrying with it a thunderous roar that shakes the heavens and the earth, as if in response to divine wrath. Wang Lin's thunder origin stems from half of a primordial thunder dragon. This half-dragon was the earthly agent of thunder, a manifestation of heavenly thunder on the mortal plane. From this half-dragon, Wang Lin's origin source began to take form. After absorbing the indestructible thunder of the Lightning Thunder clan, his thunder origins surged to the brink of perfection, just a step away from reaching the pinnacle. That final step was difficult to cross, but Wang Lin found a new path. By condensing the companion thunder and combining it with the soul of the thunder frog, as well as his own extreme realm lightning, all came together, pushing his thunder origin to the verge of completion. Over 100 years ago, in the Scorpion Temple on the immortal firmament continent, the patriarch of the Tao demon sect, who wielded a different thunder origin, spared no expense to infuse his thunderous power into Wang Lin's body. He also swallowed 2 Thunder Emperor pearls. With these accumulations, Wang Lin's thunder origin underwent a dramatic transformation, manifesting a true form, becoming the thunder origin body. This thunder true form possesses consciousness, but this will primarily belongs to Wang Lin. It is his own will that resides within. Even Wang Lin never expected that his accidental action would lead to such a tremendous change in the thunder origin body. The slaughter origin is a unique form of origin source. Its power is intangible, formed from boundless slaughter driven by a certain belief. Only after completing a massive killing with this belief can this special origin source manifest. The slaughter origin contains an overwhelming murderous aura capable of altering the heavens and earth. It's far beyond ordinary origins in both strength and destructive power. For example, when Qing Shui wielded the slaughter origin, he could challenge cultivators far superior in cultivation. Though Wang Lin rarely used the slaughter origin, mostly employing it as a means to enhance his aura, it underwent a sudden transformation when it merged with the thunder origin true form. This change was beyond Wang Lin's imagination and was so rare in the world that it had not been seen for countless millennia. The fusion of thunder and slaughter resulted in the birth of slaughter thunder. This thunder soared above the 9 heavens, capable of obliterating all beings. What's more, this slaughter thunder possesses a mission. From the moment it appears until it ends, the entire process is the fulfillment of its purpose. Ancient legends speak of a time when the heavens were enraged and thunder annihilated the world. In those tales, thunder was the divine punishment for all beings, destroying all life, and only in such an apocalyptic moment could slaughter thunder arise. After Wang Lin's thunder true form merged with the slaughter origin, the inherent need for belief in the slaughter made the fusion change the nature of the thunder. Suddenly, an unthinkable force, an unstoppable thunder of heavenly wrath, was born. Wang Lin stood dazed, staring at the thunder origin true form before him. Surrounding the true form, there was not a single visible spark of lightning. Yet, in his divine sense, he could clearly feel a terrifying force of lightning, slowly circulating inside and around the true form. This lightning possessed a power so intense that it made Wang Lin's scalp tingle. If it were to break free from the true form's control, its destructive power would be enough to obliterate the world. Swallowing hard, Wang Lin gasped. He vaguely realized that this unintentional action of his had resulted in the creation of a terrifying thunder. Once unleashed, even he would be destroyed. The feeling was so intense, it almost compelled him to stop the fusion immediately. His heart raced, sensing that this thunder should not exist in this world. Or rather, it was not yet time for it to appear. The lightning circled the true form, slowly revolving, producing faint crackling sounds. The noise was unervingly clear in the quiet Scorpion Temple, causing Wang Lin's pupils to contract. It seemed as though the thunder was showing signs of instability during the fusion. Moreover, a faint aura emanated from it. In an instant, it spread across the Green Devil continent, covering the entire land. Every living being within felt a tremor in their minds, as though they were on the verge of destruction. However, this aura disappeared as quickly as it came, vanishing before it even reached the edges of the continent. Everything happened in the blink of an eye. so fast that no great heavenly venerable noticed a thing. If this thunder erupts, this green devil continent. Wang Lin rarely felt terror, but this time, he was shaken to his core by the thunder he had unknowingly created. It was truly terrifying. At the moment when the slaughter thunder became unstable, Wang Lin's thunder origin avatar began to merge with the seal origin. The seal origin, representing laws and rules, seemed to form a vast net during the fusion, enveloping Wang Lin's thunder origin avatar. Thunder follows rules and laws that are bestowed by the heavens and earth. However, at this moment, due to the presence of Wang Lin's will within the thunder avatar and the existence of the seal origin, his thunder avatar suddenly broke free from the influence of the heavens and earth. It underwent a drastic transformation. The result of this transformation was that the thunder now possessed rules and laws unique to Wang Lin. It was as if it perfectly neutralized the slaughter thunder, trapping it within the avatar. Gradually, the signs of instability began to ease. In this brief period, sweat had already beaded on Wang Lin's forehead. As he gazed at his origin avatar, it felt as if he were dreaming. The appearance of the avatar had not changed at all. It stood there, calm and unmoving. But to Wang Lin, it felt completely different, as if the world had turned upside down. The avatar bore no trace of thunder. Instead, it was surrounded by layers of the fused seal origin, enveloping the deepest part of the body, where the world-destroying slaughter thunder resided. Perhaps, it is not the destruction of a continent. Wang Lin stared at his origin avatar, falling into silence. In his silence, as the avatar merged, his cultivation at the mid-profound void stage began to operate on its own. It erupted with a roar, forming a storm that spread outside his body, turning into a swirling vortex. With each turn of the vortex, Wang Lin's cultivation aura surged. Not only did it draw in the surrounding heaven and earth energy, but it also absorbed the power that originally belonged to the green demon scorpion within his body. With this power as nourishment, Wang Lin's white hair whipped around like it was blown by a wild wind. His body let out loud rumbling sounds, and the light in his thoughtful eyes flared up. His cultivation continued to rise, climbing higher and higher, until it reached its peak. At that moment, a thunderous roar echoed within his mind. His cultivation, in an instant, broke through from the mid-profound void stage, entering the late profound void stage. Late profound void stage. Wang Lin's contemplative expression dissipated at that moment, replaced by a sense of decisive determination. The appearance of the slaughter thunder had exceeded his expectations. He vaguely sensed a sharp shock when the thunder first appeared, and the feeling of unease was not just from the thunder itself, but mostly from the changes that the thunder's appearance had triggered. These changes could not be sensed by anyone, not even a grand heavenly venerable. Only Wang Lin, because this thunder was his creation, and thus the thunder origin possessed his will and laws. No longer pondering the matter, Wang Lin's gaze shifted to the final 3 strands of void origin when his cultivation reached the late profound void stage. Life and death, cause and effect, truth and falsehood. Once these 3 void origins fused into one, Wang Lin's 9 origins would instantly be condensed into 3, causing his cultivation to rise drastically, from the late profound void stage to the perfect profound void stage, ready to face the 9 profound tribulations. Once he overcame the 9 profound tribulations, he would step into the ranks of the great venerables and become a void tribulation cultivator. With his combat power, if his cultivation reached the early void tribulation stage, he would be able to battle a perfect void tribulation cultivator, even becoming the #1 expert under the grand heavenly venerable in this world. Or perhaps, he could become half of a grand heavenly venerable. Such cultivation, such power, would allow him to go anywhere within the immortal firmament continent, and no one would dare to calculate or manipulate him freely. For Wang Lin, he would become the 10th strongest in the immortal firmament continent. As Wang Lin stood in the Green Devil Scorpion Temple in the Green Devil continent, after the second of the 3 origins merged into one, he gazed at the remaining 3 strands of void origin. Outside the Green Devil continent, beyond the Eastern continent, and even beyond the Immortal Clan, beyond the Immortal Firmament continent. If the immortal firmament continent were to be compared to the heavens, then beyond the heavens, there existed an expanse of void like the starry sky. In this void, far from the immortal firmament continent, lay a desolate continent. This land was a mere fraction of the immortal firmament size, less than 1/10 of it. There were no signs of life, only deathly silence. In that silence, one could see ruins scattered across the continent, as if many years ago, it had been home to a vast number of creatures. But in a single tribulation, all life had been extinguished. At the very center of this continent stood a colossal ruinous city, within which stood a massive statue. The statue depicted a woman, but now it had collapsed nearly halfway. Only the upper half remained, and seated in a meditative posture on the statue's remaining fragment was a middle-aged man. This man had an ordinary appearance, but his hair was startlingly long, nearly 100 yards in length. It hung down, trailing along the collapsed statue, like a waterfall of hair. The moment Wang Lin's Thunder Origin avatar fused with the Slaughter Origin and gave birth to the world-shattering Slaughter Lightning, a middle-aged man slowly opened his eyes, as if awakening from tens of thousands of years of slumber. His eyes had no pupils, only a void of lifeless emptiness. He lifted his head, gazing into the distance. A sudden gleam flashed across his hollow eyes. Vague memories stirred. Long ago, he had come here, laid waste to everything, slaughtered all living beings, and then absorbed the deathly aura of this land to enter deep seclusion. By his own reckoning, he should have awakened after the passage of 5 kalpas. Yet now, he had awakened a full kalpa earlier. From that direction, something shook my soul, forcing me awake ahead of time. That aura, it is one of my kind. Could it be another was born but failed to survive? The man fell silent. In his ancient memory, he faintly recalled a hazy connection to the place from which the aura had come. That should be the domain of the guardian bloodline. After pondering for a moment, the middle-aged man slowly stood. As he rose, a strange glow rippled across his body, weaving itself into a black robe. The robe shrouded his face, revealing only his shockingly long hair, which pierced through the fabric and cascaded down. His body swayed once, and then he stepped into the sky. Behind him, his long hair fluttered wildly, looking from afar like a vast black dragon. As he ascended higher, the illusion became reality. A phantom black dragon coiled around him. It was as if he himself had transformed into a dragon of darkness, roaring toward the heavens. His direction was the distant, immortal firmament continent. Even with his speed, it would take him centuries to arrive. For now, let us leave the Black Dragon Man aside. On the immortal firmament continent, deep within the Scorpion Temple on the Green Devil continent of the Immortal Clan, Wang Lin stood before 3 strands of void origins. Raising both hands in a complex seal, he suddenly thrust a finger forward. At his command, the 3 strands of void origin coalesced, slowly merging into one. These origins were not granted by external force. They had arisen naturally from within him, born of his own Tao and comprehension. They had sprouted during his first mortal transformation, condensed in the second, and reached completion in the third. Life and death, cause and effect, truth and falsehood, interwoven, transforming, merging before Wang Lin's eyes. Within life and death, he saw the vermilion bird star and 3 generations of Daniel. Within cause and effect, he saw willow eyebrows, Wang Ping, and the many moments of himself as a father. Within truth and falsehood, he saw Su Dao, the dream of 60 years, and countless familiar faces and events. To Wang Lin, these 3 origins were no longer mere sources of power. They had become the very tapestry of his life, his hardships, his defiance of heaven itself. With the Tao of life and death, I depart from the mortal. With the Tao of cause and effect, I comprehend truth. With the Tao of truth and falsehood, I perceive meaning. From life and death arose cause and effect. From cause and effect emerged truth and falsehood, and beyond truth and falsehood lies the path itself. These 3 void origins, born because of me, condensed because of me, and now, because of me, united as the Tao. Murmuring, Wang Lin lifted his right hand and swept it across the air. At once, the 3 void origins before him began to spin rapidly, intertwining in endless fusion. As they merged, Wang Lin gazed blankly at the origins, and within them, he saw the entirety of his life. He saw himself kneeling before his parents' graves, screaming through tears. He saw himself holding Li Muan's body, roaring to the heavens as her final tears slipped down to the earth. He thought he saw, a year later, a dreamlike flower blooming from the soil where those tears had fallen. He saw himself coughing blood in despair when he learned Willow Eyebrows had borne a child filled with wrath. He saw Li Qianmei's 10 years of tears staining his stone statue, and afterward, the strangers who asked, "Do you know?" "My life," Wang Lin sighed softly. His face, reflected in the merging origins, seemed aged, marked with the weariness of countless years. Time flowed. As he stared unblinking at his memories, the three strands of void origins silently and fully merged. Once united, they became a single thread, saturated with Wang Lin's memories, weaving itself into a ring that floated to his forehead and branded itself there. In the instant the brand was imprinted, the lingering haze of remembrance in Wang Lin's eyes vanished, replaced by a piercing brilliance. In the midst of this dazzling brilliance, Wang Lin's cultivation aura surged again, and his cultivation level had now reached the late profound void stage. With this sudden increase, all of the earth and heaven power from the green demon scorpion that had accumulated within his body was completely absorbed by him. Even the majority of the soul that had been devoured by Wang Lin after the green demon scorpion's failed soul possession attempt was rapidly absorbed by his swiftly advancing essence spirit at this moment. But even this was not enough. The earth and heaven power could only bring Wang Lin's cultivation to the edge of the perfect void tribulation stage. He could not break through and enter the profound tribulation realm to face the arrival of the 9 profound tribulations. He still needed more earth and heaven power. His eyes gleamed, and without hesitation, Wang Lin opened his mouth and took a deep breath. As he did, the earth and heaven power surged into the massive scorpion temple from all directions. Even the mist surrounding the temple was drawn in, forming a massive vortex that generated strange celestial phenomena. This was an anomaly that began to condense throughout the Green Devil continent. This change immediately caught the attention of all cultivators on the Green Devil continent. The battle between the Green Devil continent and the Heavenly Bull continent was drawing to a close. After the death of many cultivators, only a few remained on the Green Devil continent. However, among those few cultivators, most were high-ranking experts, especially the Dao Demon sect, which, despite losing many disciples over the past century, still retained nearly 30% of its members. The patriarch of the Dao Demon sect, however, had chosen to enter seclusion over 100 years ago and had not emerged since. At this moment, the changes happening in the Green Demon Scorpion Temple at the center of the continent were felt by cultivators from various sections. Those who sensed the phenomenon either knew or had heard of the rumors surrounding the resurrection of the Green Demon. Soon, over 10 rainbow-like streaks of light shot up from various locations across the continent, all heading towards the Green Demon Temple. Even within the Dao Demon sect, 2 rainbow streaks appeared, heading straight for the temple to witness the revival of the Green Demon Scorpion. The strange celestial phenomena around the Green Demon Scorpion Temple had lasted for several months. During this time, earth and heaven power had been flooding towards the temple. Any cultivator who approached the temple's vicinity dared not get too close, instead retreating as the area of the strange celestial phenomena expanded. After months of this accumulation, all the earth and heaven power had surged into Wang Lin's body within the temple, where it was swiftly absorbed. His cultivation aura grew stronger and stronger, continuously rising. On a certain day, after months of this buildup, his cultivation aura erupted violently, and a rumbling sound echoed from his body. In that roar, his cultivation level skyrocketed from the late profound void stage to the peak of the profound void stage, reaching perfection. This surge of cultivation power was hidden beneath the swirling earth and heaven forces. And because the cultivators around the Green Demon continent did not dare to disperse their divine sense for fear of disturbing the Green Demon's resurrection and incurring its wrath, no one noticed the change. At the moment Wang Lin reached the peak of the profound void stage, he opened his eyes, and a terrifying cold light shone within them. He raised his right hand and waved it forward, causing his 5 elements avatar to flicker and merge into his body. In that instant, his cultivation power surged again, multiplying several times. Then, with another wave of his hand, the terrifying Thunder Origin avatar appeared. As it leapt forward, it overlapped with Wang Lin's body. With each thunderclap, it fused into Wang Lin's being, becoming a part of him. When the Thunder Origin avatar merged into his body, Wang Lin exuded an overwhelming aura. He could feel his own strength. Even without wearing the heavenly Ox soul armor, he could now battle those at the late void tribulation stage. This was still without using the Slaughter Thunder. If he unleashed that terrifying Slaughter Thunder, its destructive power was something Wang Lin could not even fathom. The thunder was something he had inadvertently created and could not fully control. This powerful feeling radiated from him, emanating a strong sense of belief. This belief changed his very aura, causing anyone who laid eyes on him to be shaken before even taking action. Standing up, Wang Lin clasped his hands behind his back and looked up at the sky. His gaze could pierce through the Scorpion Temple to see the heavens above. His divine sense expanded, ready to cover the entire temple with just a movement. Yun Yifeng and the others had already left, clearly unable to endure waiting any longer. They had departed, not daring to remain. But this was no longer important to Wang Lin. For him, the clouds in the distance were as fleeting as smoke. What he now faced were the 9 profound tribulations. If I, Wang Lin, can successfully overcome the 9 profound tribulations and become a void tribulation supreme, then the entire Tao demon sect will be slaughtered, even those in the late void tribulation stage, their forms and spirits obliterated, to repay the favor of the past centuries' fortuitous blessings. A cold glint flashed in Wang Lin's eyes, and an immense force of will surged from him. Looking up at the sky, Wang Lin waited. He awaited the arrival of the profound tribulation that would elevate him to supreme. He had never encountered a profound tribulation before, but at this moment, Wang Lin had enough confidence to stand atop the terrace pavilion and witness the fleeting splendor and beauty of the tribulation's arrival. Throughout history, anyone who had the qualification to face the profound tribulations was filled with trepidation, proceeding cautiously. Even the grand heavenly venerable, before becoming one, was mostly in such a state. A person like Wang Lin, however, was exceedingly rare. The profound tribulation, if failed, would result in the destruction of both form and spirit. As a result, many void profound cultivators are extremely cautious of the tribulations, choosing to remain in the void profound stage forever, unwilling to face the terrifying 9 profound tribulations. The Blue Dream Tao sovereign of years past, for example, stayed at the void profound peak for a long time, never stepping into the profound tribulation. Entering the profound tribulation is akin to experiencing 9 lives and deaths. Such an ordeal, such courage, is not something everyone possesses. The majority of void tribulation cultivators undergo their tribulations slowly over thousands of years. They lack the confidence to face the 9 profound tribulations in one go, so whenever they sense danger, they sever the process, unwilling to risk the calamity's potential transformation. The profound tribulation is both a calamity and a fortune. Overcoming 3 in a row can double one's primordial spirit. Overcoming 6 can triple it, and overcoming all 9 can increase the primordial spirit several times. As for the exact increase, it is unclear, as only 2 individuals in history have done so, and both later became grand heavenly venerables. They never spoke of it, and no one knew. However, the difficulty and danger of this feat are apparent. It is said that after overcoming the 9 profound tribulations, these 2 grand heavenly venerables were severely injured and went into seclusion for a long time. Even ordinary cultivators, if they can overcome 6 profound tribulations in succession, can immediately become powerful in the early void tribulation stage. They could fight against peak mid-stage void tribulation cultivators without falling short, without even considering magical artifacts. However, such fortune is rare throughout history. Overcoming 9 in one go is completely different from accumulating the same achievement over thousands of years. The profound tribulation is peculiar. No one can assist in it, relying entirely on oneself. Take Du Qing, for example. Although he has already passed several, he has done so separately, and each tribulation has grown increasingly difficult. It's very likely that his journey will halt. However, there is still hope, as he has time to prepare. Though this time is limited, it is still far easier than trying to face them all at once. But as the tribulation progresses, it becomes more and more of a life-and-death trial, like a nightmare that induces fear. Once one steps into the profound tribulation, no matter how unwilling, when the time comes, the tribulation will descend suddenly, and the call of death will be inevitable. On the immortal firmament continent, someone roughly calculated the chances of death for each profound tribulation. The first has a 10% death chance, while the ninth has a 90% chance. Continuing this calculation, those who manage to pass all 9 tribulations not only have immense cultivation, but also a significant amount of luck. Wang Lin stood deep within the scorpion-shaped building, his expression calm. Taking a step forward, his figure blurred as he left this place, appearing atop the scorpion temple, standing on the scorpion's tail pointing toward the heavens. A head of white hair fluttered, giving Wang Lin's form an ethereal quality, as if he might vanish with the wind. He gazed up at the sky, waiting for the profound tribulation to arrive. What will the profound tribulation be like? I am eager to find out. Wang Lin's eyes shone brightly. He now had the confidence to face any tribulation. He activated his cultivation, which began to accelerate rapidly, emanating the aura of a peak void profound stage cultivator. This aura coalesced around him, and suddenly, it burst forth, forming a storm that surrounded him. It shot upward into the sky, connecting with the heavens in an awe-inspiring tempest. At the moment this storm appeared, an invisible pressure spread out, emanating from Wang Lin's form, sweeping across the surroundings. In the blink of an eye, it covered hundreds of miles and continued expanding rapidly. Within these hundreds of miles, all living beings were forced to retreat, unable to take even a single step forward. This was the profound tribulation. Once a cultivator attempts it, no one can assist them. The pressure kept expanding, rapidly reaching thousands of miles, and was soon approaching the edge of the Scorpion Temple. There, over a dozen Green Devil Continent cultivators had gathered, watching the resurrection of the Green Demon. At this moment, the expressions of the monks changed one by one, and they all retreated in unison. The drastic changes in the heavens and earth were so clear that they could sense it without using their divine sense. Someone was undergoing the profound tribulation. Profound tribulation. How? How could there be a profound tribulation pressure here? Could it be that after the Lord Green Demon's resurrection, his cultivation dropped, and he has to go through the profound tribulation again to recover? The Lord Green Demon was once suppressed personally by the immortal progenitor. His cultivation must have been incredibly strong, but after being suppressed for so long, perhaps his cultivation has indeed fallen significantly. The more than 10 monks from Green Devil Continent, all with thoughtful expressions, retreated to avoid the pressure. They concentrated their minds to observe, but their divine sense could not penetrate deeply into the pressure, and they could not see what was inside. As the pressure spread across thousands of miles, at the center, on the tail of the Scorpion Temple, Wang Lin stood calmly, gazing at the sky. He saw that the entire sky suddenly began to fill with snowflakes. The snowflakes were white, drifting down from the sky, soon covering the heavens, creating a scene of chaotic fluttering. As they slowly fell, they spread across the surroundings. Snow, Wang Lin observed. The snowflakes increased rapidly, soon occupying the entire world, becoming the only moving thing within thousands of miles. As they fell, a coldness spread, enveloping the surroundings. The snowflakes fell heavily to the ground, accumulating into a layer. The moment the snow appeared, the more than 10 monks from Green Devil Continent, thousands of miles away, all had bright lights flash in their eyes. They felt a chill, and their naked eyes could see the snowflakes drifting down from within the 1,000-mile radius. This first tribulation of the profound tribulation is actually a snow tribulation. This tribulation is rare. The profound tribulation consists of 9 tribulations, 3 external tribulations, 3 internal tribulations, and the last 3 are soul tribulations. Let's see how the Lord Green Demon will overcome this snow tribulation. Wang Lin observed the snowflakes with an indifferent expression. He did not act immediately, but instead watched the snowstorm as if appreciating it. The snowflakes grew denser, and the coldness deepened. Not long after, suddenly, all the snow in the heavens and earth came to a sudden halt, as if time had been frozen. The snowflakes, countless in number, instantly turned into sharp snow blades, appearing from all directions with a howling wind, all rushing toward Wang Lin. Is this the first tribulation? Wang Lin shook his head, his eyes revealing disappointment. He raised his right hand, and at the moment the snowflakes howled toward him, he suddenly waved it. With this wave, his 5 elements avatar immediately scattered, and in an instant, overlapping shadows of his body appeared. From within Wang Lin's body, a figure stepped out. As the 5 elements avatar emerged, Wang Lin casually sat down on the massive scorpion tail, his white hair hanging down. With a flip of his right hand, a wine flask appeared in his grasp. He had brought the flask from Heavenly Bull Continent, filled with strong liquor from the mortal realm. He took a large gulp, sitting there alone, his white hair flowing as he drank. His figure, faintly, resembled a black-robed man who had once sat atop a half-broken statue in a desolate ruin far away from the immortal firmament continent. Loneliness, desolation, and indifference. As soon as the 5 elements avatar emerged, a vast sea of flames erupted from its body, roaring as it expanded and formed 99 flame dragons. These dragons howled and rushed in all directions, colliding with the oncoming snowflakes in an instant. Waves of heat surged through the air, and deafening roars filled the surroundings. Although the snowflakes were sharp and the cold was intense, they were nothing before Wang Lin's 5 elements avatar. A large amount of white mist spread as the snowflakes melted, quickly engulfing the area. As the 99 flame dragons surged forward, the moment they merged with the snowflakes, they suddenly condensed into a colossal fire dragon. This fire dragon, carrying the sea of flames and heat, soared toward the sky. With a roar, the fire dragon shot up like a sword, piercing the heavens, burning the sky. As the sky burned, the first tribulation of the profound tribulation, the snow tribulation, was directly shattered. Too weak, Wang Lin muttered, shaking his head as he took another sip of liquor. Amidst the burning sky, the heavens suddenly trembled violently, as if a fierce wind was howling, producing a wailing sound. 9 terrifying storms appeared in the sky. These storms were 9 hurricanes, howling as they swept across the sky, causing the sea of flames to spread uncontrollably. In an instant, the only thing left in the sky was these 9 hurricanes. A tremendous force from heaven and earth spread out from these 9 storms, and the wailing sound within the wind was like the wrath of the heavens. It became the only sound within thousands of miles. As the wailing echoed, the 9 hurricanes charged directly at Wang Lin, bringing with them a tearing force that seemed capable of ripping him apart. In an instant, the first hurricane suddenly approached. The 5 elements avatar remained motionless, standing coldly behind Wang Lin, watching as the hurricane wailed and rushed toward him, enveloping Wang Lin's body in a moment. The wind wrapped around Wang Lin, spinning wildly, generating immense tearing forces, pulling at his body and emitting a roar of the heavens and earth. Yet, amidst this storm, Wang Lin sat on the scorpion tail, still drinking his wine. His clothes were whipped by the wind, and his white hair fluttered, but his expression remained unchanged. He drank, sip after sip, as the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, all the way to the 9th hurricane roared in, each merging into the space around Wang Lin's body. When the 9 hurricanes converged, forming a storm that engulfed most of the Scorpion Temple and connected with the heavens, Wang Lin finally lifted his head. Still, too weak. Even though the wind tribulation had lasted for hundreds of years, it could not tear apart his current body. His physical form, no longer the same as before, had been greatly enhanced through the transformation by the old man in the green robe. It had become extremely resilient, blending unimaginable toughness with strength. This wind tribulation couldn't even shake Wang Lin in the slightest. He raised his left hand and suddenly reached out to grab the swirling hurricane around him. In one swift motion, he tore outward. The rumbling sound echoed as the hurricane collapsed in layers under his pull, bursting apart from the first level all the way down to the ninth. The 9 hurricanes exploded, sweeping outward like a violent storm until they dispersed. As the wind subsided, Wang Lin remained seated, drinking his wine. His 5 elements avatar stood behind him, coldly watching the sky, unmoving. The sky was dark, like a gloomy human face. Slowly, a tribulation cloud spread across the heavens, surging and moving. The sound of thunder echoed through the cloud, with lightning flashing sporadically, momentarily illuminating the earth. Over 1,000 miles away, more than a dozen Green Devil Continent cultivators had witnessed the collapse of the snow-wind tribulation. At this moment, there was absolute silence. The thunder grew more intense, and the tribulation clouds spread further, completely covering the sky. The lightning within became more frequent, and the rumbling noise carried an aura of madness and brutality. But despite all this, Wang Lin remained unmoved. He calmly drank his wine and glanced up at the tribulation cloud and lightning in the sky, then suddenly smiled. Thunder. Wang Lin gazed at the tribulation cloud in the sky, watching the thunder and lightning. He shook his head and lowered his body, sipping his wine. As he shook his head, the clouds in the sky rumbled, and a bolt of thunder, seemingly connecting heaven and earth, came crashing down toward Wang Lin. This bolt of lightning carried an overwhelming force and rapidly approached, as if it intended to strike Wang Lin down. How dare you? Wang Lin suddenly raised his head, letting out a low growl. His roar surpassed the sound of the thunder, drowning out all the rumbling of the heavens and earth. In the midst of the thunder tribulation, Wang Lin's body erupted with a thunder will, a will that was the very essence of the heavenly thunder. The massive thunder tribulation, which seemed to be on the verge of striking, trembled violently, and, within 100 yards of Wang Lin, suddenly recoiled. As if in fear of Wang Lin, it retreated not to attack him, but instead charged straight toward the tribulation cloud in the sky. Since I achieved mastery over the thunder tribulation is only for me to wield upon others. Wang Lin raised his left hand and suddenly reached toward the tribulation cloud in the sky. With a snap of his fingers, the clouds trembled violently. The lightning within the clouds erupted with an unbearable roar, and bolts of lightning shot out, heading directly toward Wang Lin. In front of Wang Lin's left hand, countless bolts of lightning gathered frantically, and in an instant, they coalesced into a massive thunderball. With a wave of Wang Lin's left hand, the thunderball shot toward the tribulation cloud, crashing into it with a deafening roar. The thunder rumbled, shaking the world. In that instant, the tribulation cloud shattered without pause, splitting into pieces, and the dark sky cleared in a moment. The 3 rounds of profound tribulation collapsed, one after another. Over 1,000 miles away, the dozen or so cultivators from the Green Devil Continent, though unable to see Wang Lin, could feel the passing of these 3 tribulations, a feat that was almost unbelievable. Although the first 3 rounds of profound tribulation were not terribly powerful, any cultivator with the courage to challenge them could usually overcome them. However, this required a great deal of strength and effort to make it through the 3 tribulations, gaining a huge boost in their soul's power. But to pass through them so easily was a rare occurrence. It must be Lord Green Demon. No one else could do this. Lord Green Demon's cultivation must have gone through such profound tribulations in the past, so he faces this challenge with such ease now. The dozen or so cultivators gazed reverently at the tribulation zone over 1,000 miles away, waiting for their Lord Green Demon to emerge soon. Wang Lin sat on the scorpion tail, gazing at the sky. The previous 3 profound tribulations had left him somewhat disappointed. Now, he waited for the arrival of the 4th profound tribulation, wondering if this one would be as magnificent. The fleeting moment of the profound tribulation scene at the terrace pavilion wasn't about words, but about action. Wang Lin, with his calm composure, watched the beauty of that tribulation. What will the 4th one be like? Wang Lin took a sip of wine. At that moment, The calm sky suddenly rippled with countless waves. As these ripples spread, the sky looked like the surface of water disturbed by numerous ripples. Amidst these ripples, an overwhelming pressure suddenly radiated, enveloping the surroundings. At the same time, the ground below trembled, and a gigantic ancient drum, around 1,000 feet in size, slowly descended from the sky. The drum, with its two faces, was made of an unknown material. As it descended, it made no sound, but a sense of ancientness filled the air. As the drum appeared, Wang Lin held his wine pot, focused intently. Interesting, he muttered, a flash of light gleaming in his eyes. At the same moment, the 1,000-foot drum suddenly seemed to be struck by an invisible force. A muffled, thunderous sound erupted, the drumbeat booming and echoing, like countless people pounding on a massive drum from all directions, creating a wave of sound. As the drum sound reverberated, Wang Lin's body, flesh, bones, and meridians all trembled. He clearly felt that the omnipresent drum sound was not emanating from the drum itself, but rather from deep within his body. This scene made Wang Lin's eyes gleam brighter. As the drum sounds filled him, a tingling sensation surged within his body, and for a moment, he was frozen, unable to move from the sudden vibration caused by the drum's resonance inside him. At that moment, as the drum sound spread throughout Wang Lin's body, the sky above, outside the massive drum, began to accumulate a thick mist. The mist coalesced into a gigantic fog sword, which was entirely ethereal, as if it didn't exist at all. But in an instant, a terrifying aura of malevolence surged from it. As the sword rose, the sinister aura became stronger, swirling around the sword. The fog sword immediately moved toward Wang Lin, slashing down from above his head. This sword didn't aim to strike Wang Lin's body, nor his divine sense or soul, but rather to sever the connection between his body, divine sense, and soul. Once this sword landed, Wang Lin's divine sense and soul would be forever separated from his body, and they would never be able to merge again. The severance would not only break the connection, but also the bloodline within his body, causing his divine form to become permanently incompatible with his physical body. It would force the soul to leave the body, trapped in the divine sense. This was the first tribulation of the inner three tribulations, the severance tribulation. The massive drum was the key to triggering this tribulation. The appearance of the drum marked the start of the inner three tribulations. This tribulation was treacherous and had claimed the lives of countless cultivators throughout history. Once the body and soul separated, the physical body would collapse under the sound of the drum, and the divine sense and soul would dissipate into nothingness. The fog sword moved silently, but the murderous aura around it howled like a swirling black smoke. It rushed toward Wang Lin with a terrifying force. For countless years, this sword had severed the connection between the body and soul of many who had attempted to pass through the profound tribulation. Now, the sword reappeared, aiming for Wang Lin. Wang Lin didn't need to know, nor did he care to, how other cultivators passed through this tribulation. They usually prepared for a long time before attempting the inner three tribulations and often passed through it step by step, cautiously searching for a chance to survive. At this moment, the drum sound rattled Wang Lin's blood, flesh, and bones, trying to limit his body. But it couldn't restrain his heartbeat. Wang Lin didn't know how others dealt with this tribulation, but he had his own methods. At that moment, his heartbeat suddenly accelerated, its rapid thumping turning into a thunderous resonance that echoed through his body. As it collided with the drum sound, Wang Lin, who had been immobilized, felt the power to move surge through him. In the instant he could move, as the fog sword, filled with malevolent aura, descended toward him, Wang Lin remained calm. He released his wine pot with his right hand, and with a sudden burst of pain in his palm, a bone-like blade extended from his hand. The blade radiated a chilling aura, transforming the surroundings into a cold, eerie hell. Good timing. Wang Lin laughed, not getting up, but instead gripping the bone blade in his right hand, slashing horizontally at the descending fog sword. The sword and blade collided in an instant, releasing a thunderous sound that shook the heavens. The mist sword trembled violently, cracking open countless fissures before it exploded into pieces. The murderous aura on it seemed reluctant to retreat, and just as it was about to break free and surge towards Wang Lin, he suddenly lifted his head. In that moment, an overwhelming killing intent burst forth from his body, far surpassing the murderous aura of the mist sword. This aura soared into the sky, unmistakably many times more intense than the murderous aura. The murderous aura, seemingly sentient, suddenly collapsed and recoiled, unwilling to face Wang Lin's killing intent, quickly dissipating. The first tribulation of the inner three tribulations, the severance tribulation, thus collapsed. As it scattered, the great drum in the sky released a second deafening sound. This drumbeat was several times more intense than the previous one, stirring the air and creating a series of sonic waves that reverberated, echoing across the heavens and the earth. After spreading for thousands of miles, it further expanded, like the war drum of heaven and earth, sounding the call for destruction. At the moment the sound spread, Wang Lin's body stood for the first time. With his left hand, he grabbed the wine flask that had previously loosened, brought it to his lips, and took a sip. In the same motion, his body flashed and shot toward the sky. Destroy this drum, and see how many more profound tribulations will come.